Opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of Scarefest TV. Original broadcast date, January 27th, 2023. And, okay, before we get started tonight, of course, now, my guest, go ahead and throw Bev over. My guest tonight is Beverly McChesney. And, Bev, did you know this is almost 1 year since the last time you were on? Within,
really?
Within days? It's just...
You need to have me more often, obviously.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. But everybody, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apologize to everybody. Bev and me were talking before the show. My sleep cycle has been absolutely jacked up this week. So I took a nap this afternoon, and it was like one of those that you just can't wake up from type of naps. And so I might not be on my game tonight, and of course I talked to Bev about it, and she says her spirit people, her crew, are telling everyone they need to hydrate better, and that's what's causing our brain fog. It's not just me, it's everybody. So see if I had anything else. We do have a celebrity announcement tonight at the half-hour mark. We will drop that after the commercial. And other than that, we're going to get right into it. Now, everybody, of course, Bev comes to Scarefest, does a gallery. Was last year your second or third one?
Third or fourth.
Okay.
Yeah, fourth.
Fourth. There. See? I'm so out of touch. But she does that. Of course, you can catch her sometimes down to the Central Kentucky Mystical Market. She's got a couple of others that we'll be talking about tonight, give you the dates on those. But the funnest part is that she's willing to come on my show and actually do live readings from the chat room. So as you all roll in the chat rooms tonight, on Facebook, YouTube pops up. I don't know if Twitter still pops up on here or not. So Twitter people, you're out of luck. But anyway, so if you want to ask a question about, do you want to keep it, of course, I was always nervous about asking anything personal in public, but so do you want to keep it like,
well, I will tell you that if you ask a personal question, you'll get an answer to that question. And if it's an answer that might be too personal for everybody listening here, then you might want to rethink asking that one.
Yeah. Don't ask me.
I mean, if it doesn't bother you, they don't care.
Yeah.
What you ask.
Don't ask anything you don't want an answer to. That's kind of the moral of my life. That's been, that's
yes.
why I don't go to the doctor.
Because you will get some kind of answer.
Yeah. Okay. Now, we're going to go through, this is kind of a repeat. We do this one every year. We're going to talk about how the mechanics of it kind of work. Basically, Bev reaches out to, who would you define the entities, who answers the questions for you?
Well, for a question that someone asks about themselves or that's personal to them, I talk to their angels, guides, guardians, whatever you want to call entities. They don't really call themselves angels, guides, and guardians, but that's who they are. If it's a question about the world or the country or whatever in general, I speak to a group I call the Master Council, and they have wonderful insight on lots of things. It just depends, what somebody's asking.
I actually need you to hook me up with your counsel because, okay, I do the bad tarot card readings. Highly accurate, I do believe. But I did have one, and this was back actually last fall, summer maybe, that boy, was I wrong. It was kind of out of my wheelhouse. It wasn't a personal question. It was about it was a geopolitical question, believe it or not. And I missed it. I mean, I didn't even hit the tree. I missed it so bad. So apparently that's the one category of questions my spirit guides just are totally clueless on.
It is kind of out of their wheelhouse, except as it applies personally to someone.
Yeah.
So
See, but
in that
okay.
case, the council would.
This is why I don't get along with my spirit guides all the time. I'm like, ask somebody. If I ask you a question and you can't answer, elevate it. That's why I do it on ghost hunts. They if they can't help me right then and there, find me someone who can, and that's not being mean. Oh, one more thing before we get into this, I want to give a public apology to the person in the Facebook group today, fan group, that asked about when are we going to announce more celebrities. Upon reading it, my answer was a little bit snarky. And I didn't, it was accurate, but it came across a little snarkier than I meant it to be. But the real point of it, without going into great detail, is it's January. Now, we are admittedly 30 days behind where we normally start announcing celebrities. But if you do the math, we've announced one a week average. Actually, 1.5 because we're got 5 on the board. So I'm just saying that this is the way Scarefest does it. Now, the reason I'm apologizing, that person probably could be new, did not realize how we do it. But no con announces their entire lineup 8 months before the show. It just doesn't happen. So now I got that off my chest. I'm trying to become a nicer person, Bev.
Well, I think you do a pretty good job.
I can find you several people that would disagree, but that's a whole nother episode, isn't it, fans? So anyway. If anybody now, if you've got any questions in the chat room about life, the universe, or anything, explain to people when you actually do a in-person gallery. Tell them what they can expect to see, how that usually works.
In an in-person gallery, depending on how many are in there, everybody gets to ask questions. We just go down the row and people ask whatever they want, one question, and we see what answer we get. It's sort of a fast-paced thing. We keep it going. The faster it is, the better it is for me. They'll see me writing and looking down most of the time. That's because a lot of my information comes in when I'm doodling, which reminds me I need to get a tablet in front of me. But basically, it's just people asking questions and having fun. Sometimes the answers are serious, sometimes they're ridiculous, and sometimes they're funny. You just don't know what the universe is going to talk about. But it's not me. I'm bringing those answers through from other entities to the people asking the questions. I just get out of the way, and I'm just the mouth.
Kind of how I feel about my job. Now, okay, now someone, now you also occasionally on your, I think it's on your Vessel of the Spirit profile on Facebook.
Yes.
You occasionally do, well, I'm going to call them Facebook readings, but what it is, you put out there for someone to ask, a question, 2 questions. It's either personal or impersonal, sometimes even targeted to a specific target. But is the reason you don't just sit there and answer them as they pop up just so you don't sit at your computer? Or, I know you put time limits on it. And when you do that, kind of what's your plan there? How does that work for you?
Sort of like when I'm in the zone, I'm in there. And if I'm hopping around answering them individually as they come in and I'm typing it, that's the bigger thing. I'm typing it. My mind jumps in there too much. Whereas if I go into a list of all these questions that have been asked and I start at the beginning and just go, my mind doesn't have to stop and think about the process. It just goes. So if I'm doing them individually, there's too much process for my brain to take. And so my brain has a trouble getting out of the way so the answers can come through. I opened it up today to some non-personal questions. So that'll be interesting in a few days to see what answers we get.
Now, just so one more question to beat that horse a little while longer. Okay, let's take a typical like today's thing. Okay, people ask questions. Now, do you just when you get ready to do them, do you sit there and do you just verbally ask the universe your questions? Do you just think about it? Do you write it down as the question? How do you do that part of it?
I do a little meditation where I go what I call out into the universe, and I ask that the information come through me clearly. And if it's personal questions, I see all these little doors out there, and it's like certain doors I open, and I think, okay, that's cool. If it's non personal, it's like I go and sit down with the council and ask them if I can connect. And from that point on, either one of those 2 points, my brain just gets out of the way. And I kind of go on neutral, and they come through and answer the questions.
Fair
Even though
enough.
you think you're still talking to me, my voice doesn't change. I'm not one of those that changes the way I sound or any of that. Although sometimes that happens. But I'm out of the way.
Okay, first question from the chat room. Do certain crystals help us connect with spirit? And if so, which ones are considered best by the council?
So crystals absolutely have their own personalities, they're living beings in themselves. They have atoms, they have energy. So crystals and stones are actually energetic beings in their own right. Um, some have properties, vibrational energies, properties that will help you with certain areas of your life. Like a green stone might help your heart chakra or anything with health or that kind of thing. Black obsidian absorbs a lot of negativity, so it's a good stone to wear when you're anxious or nervous or in a fearful situation. Um, there's so many there. There's so many. Rose quartz. I had a little girl once that was getting bullied, and we gave her a rose quartz pendant to wear. And she would wear it about 2 weeks, and then it would just shatter and crumble. She'd come get another one. And what it was absorbing all that hatred pointed towards her, and it would take all it could hold and it would crumble. So yes, they do have properties, and yes, they do help. I keep selenite over beside my door, so anybody that comes in or out my front door gets a little selenite cleansing, energetic cleansing. So they most definitely have properties.
But part of that question was if your goal was just to connect to
Oh,
spirit.
that's right. That's true. The stone that helped me most, I have to remember the name of it. I cannot remember the name of the stone. It'll come to me at some point. And then again, that was the one that worked for me. Different people have different vibrations for energetic patterns, so different stones are going to work for them. A good clear quartz helps everybody. It's a big amplifier. So, a good quartz is good for anybody who's trying to connect. Cannot for the life of me remember this strange name of this
I'm
strange. It's very rare, hard to find. I don't know that they could run out and buy one anyway.
I'm feeling mildly less than psychic tonight, but I know the answer to some of the questions. So my advice on that particular one, the way I do it personally. Now sometimes I will ask for advice if I'm looking for a specific use for the stone. But most time when I go stone shopping, I don't want to say I just pick the one out that's prettiest, but I do kind of hold my hand over them and see if I feel drawn to any of them.
We used to do that with pendulums. When people were looking for a pendulum, they'd say, "Oh, that one's so pretty," but then the one next to it would be moving, saying, "No, I'm the one for you." So it does. It's an individual thing.
Okay, I saw that one. Calm down, producer. Calm down. I'm afraid these are going to scroll up on the screen before I get to them. Okay. I do. Now, it's not showing me the name on the chat room. I hope that doesn't mess up your guides. But someone in the chat room asked.
Meredith.
It was it Meredith? Okay.
Meredith.
She wants to know what's going to happen with her mom's health and what can the family do to help her get healthier.
Well, for someone to be healthy, they have to want to be healthy. Is part of it. Part of it is that, and she's really tired. She's really, your mother's tired. Um, and she's not sure that she's just tired. I don't know how to say this. I don't want to say anything that, you know, would distress or upset, but she's got a lot of things, not just one thing. So I can't really address all the things. But as much as anything, one thing they could, one second, give me just a second. Let me see if I pick up more on this. Normally the answers come like this, but this one's a very complicated answer to a very complicated question. Because when someone's ill or someone's sad or someone's lonesome, so many things factor into that. It's not just one thing. So that's why I'm having a hard time honing in on this specific question. She needs to feel like okay, her angels say that if she would start, they would start inviting them in. Her mother tends to block them some way. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, I'm sorry, but I can't give a long, drawn-out answer to a very complicated question because it turns into a whole reading. But her mother's got to want to be better.
I'm trying to get the I'm having trouble with my green screen still, people, so I'm trying to get the wrinkle off of Bez's face. Okay, now, some more from the chat room here. And if I miss any people, I'll apologize. I'll just have to shout out and say, hey, everybody say your question again. Someone did ask, is COVID more or less over, or can we expect another big societal, we'll call it a shutdown?
That's a big one. COVID, when it came in here, I didn't think was going to stay longer than a year. But then COVID feeds on negative energy. COVID feeds on hate. It feeds on fear. COVID is in itself its own entity. It's not just a bug. It's an entity. And so it came in here to do a job. It came in here to feed on anger and trauma and fear, and it's done that very well. But it's kind of found a really good home. So unfortunately, that's why COVID is not completely gone yet. It's still, we feed it. If we would, I know this sounds absolutely crazy. Most of what I say sounds crazy, but if we would send COVID love, COVID would leave.
There you go, people. There's your answer.
It it loves fear and anger and hate. It doesn't like love.
And I can't think of anything in my lifetime thus far that has created more fear and anger and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, now from Tim Collins in the chat room, wants to know what is in store for him this year. What changes can your council see?
Does he mean that in business, romance, health, finance, his job? There's so many areas. Everybody needs to kind of hone in on one real specific question. Otherwise, it turns into entire readings.
I tell everybody that every time I do tarot.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying.
The more direct, the more specific the question, the more specific the answer can be.
You know, there's hundreds of areas in that person's life that will change this year. If I went through all of them, we'd be on here for several hours.
Yeah, and if you don't...
So if he wants to be specific, if he wants to give me a specific area, I can tell that.
Yeah, because you leave it
up to me. I'm batting 100 tonight.
Tim, if you leave it up to me, I'm going to make her go romance on you and just get all personal. Anyway, let's see. Anything else?
Health and relationships.
Yeah, okay. Came back. He says he wants to know about health and relationships. Is this your health, Tim? I'll even help Bev out a little bit. Your health? And then he does want the relationship advice.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are some health issues going on, and I'm sure he's already aware of those. But it does feel like some of that is coming to resolution in about 4 weeks, 4.3 weeks. There'll be some resolution on a health issue that he's quite aware of or concerned about. They're saying more proteins. They're saying vitamin D. They're saying more water, more water, more water. They're saying do the things that he's already been told to do that he refuses to do health-wise or puts them off. So health-wise, things are going to start leveling out here in a few weeks, but he needs to do what he's told to do to take care of his health because he's not.
That's all that.
Romance or relationships, by the end of the year, that's going to be a really exciting thing, but not so much before then.
I did a reading last Sunday in basically a similar question, and I didn't get anything real specific, but the number, it made me think everything's going to be fine, but don't get in a hurry. And I could tell the person was really disappointed with that answer. But yeah, I told, in fact, it was like 3 relationships down the road. And
Right.
I felt bad, saying, you have next 2 people. Because then, what if they meet their soulmate and I'm wrong? But anyway.
Well, like this person's going to have fun with people, going to be involved in things, but the actual relationship won't, the really perfect relationship won't come till toward the end of the year.
Okay. We have Barbara Maggard who wants to know, will she be out of this shelter by March? Will Barbara Maggard be out? There you go. Yes, that was a quick
It'll be
one.
late March, but yes.
Okay. Joe Howard wants to know, will he be moving this year?
About September, October.
I was gonna say, have you met Joe? It's like, you don't move that fast now, Joe. But anyway, okay. So there's your answer, Joe.
Hopefully I don't know anybody I'm answering. It makes it easier.
Tracy Courtney wants to know if you would like more cinnamon candy.
I want bourbon balls this time. You all talked about them so much. I want bourbon balls. She makes the best cinnamon glass candy ever.
She does. Everything she touches is awesome.
You 2 want to be left alone here?
Oh, shut up.
Okay, Lori Baker wants to know if she will personally find a house or will find and or purchase a house this calendar year.
Yeah, and I'm surprised she didn't last calendar year. But yes, the good news is that houses are going to become a little more affordable. Interest rates are going to go down a little bit. So it's going to be better timing. I do think the house, she's got this preconceived notion of what she wants, and she needs to let that go a little bit because that's making it harder for the universe to find it for her. She just needs to put the basics out there. Like, I want 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms in this area of town, instead of having in her mind exactly what she wants.
Okay.
So the answer to that is yes.
There you go. Yes. Now, these things are rolling by. I don't mean to rush anybody here.
Oh.
Melissa Crawford Murphy wants to know, to what native tribes or nations did she belong to in previous lives?
Okay, she's going to be disappointed in this because I can't do past live readings really, really fast. I have to go to another area. But I can tell her that she has been 14 times in native tribes, not necessarily American. I can tell her that she's had 318 past lives. And I can tell her that none of the native lifetimes have been recent.
There you go. Okay. Shanna Hale wants to know, do you know what my future holds relationship-wise with my boyfriend?
What does she want it to hold? The thing is, in relationships, free will is a big part of it, because you're dealing with another person who has their own free will. So despite what she might want or think, the other person has what they want or think, and we all have free will, and we can't push our will on anyone else's. So they have 2 diverse thoughts about where they want this relationship to go. So I think they need to talk about where they want the relationship to go. And it will either completely diverge or it will become more strong. It's entirely up to this conversation they need to have sometime in the next 3 to 4 months. That's the timing for it.
So there, that you and then, okay, well, we got a little lull there and getting ready to go to a commercial break here in a minute. That's what I try to explain to people. I'm not good at predicting the future. I can tell you what you need to do to get to the future you want. But when it comes to just predicting the future, there's just a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that
There's a
you in the chat room can jack up royally, and then you think I was wrong and it was your fault. So,
Well, I will tell everyone that free will is the best thing about us and the worst thing about us. And I can tell people what's going to happen on the path they're on, but I can also tell them that if they absolutely despise that path, use their free will and change it.
That's what I should have said to that reading I gave Sunday.
Well, there are certain things in the future that are going to happen. Okay, there's certain things in our past that are going to happen because it's our trajectory. It's the reason we came into this life. But along the way, there's a whole bunch of free will decisions to be made. So it's not all cut and dried.
Okay, we've got a little lull in the chat room. Let's see. Oh, here we go. We got one more here. Eric Morrison says he's been at his job for a long time. Should he stay and ride it out, or should he start exploring other options?
What's 14? He's been there 14 years.
The number 14 is popping up, Eric. Does that mean something to you?
The answer to that, though, is early next year, he's going to take another job.
Ooh, there you go, Eric. 15. Well, okay, 15 years. That's darn close to 14.
I bet it's really close to 14.999. But anyway, yes, early next year there. He doesn't have to do it, but early next year there's an opportunity.
This is all because they wouldn't let him off for Scarefest last year.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's the best place for him for this year. There'll be an opportunity about late July, but I don't know that that's the one to take. So take the one that shows itself after the first of the year.
There you go. Now, everybody in the chat room, you can stop asking questions for a moment. We'll be right back with more Scarefest TV after this and our announcement.
Horror. Movie. Fans. 4. Life. On Facebook. Find us. 4 watch parties. 4 news. 4 memes. 4 friends. 4 life. Horror movie fans for life. Join us.
Our announcement for tonight, Amelie McClain. I'll jack up her last name. I was so worried about her first name. Amelie McClain is coming. She's from Terrifier 2. Also, what was the other one? I had another one. Oh, Transference. I'm not familiar with it, but she played Sadie in Transference. She plays a pale little girl in Terrifier 2. And, interestingly, on her IMDb, she has 2 different podcasts listed. I'm going to put Scarefest TV on IMDb so that I can go back, and everybody that's ever been on here, Bev, you'll have an IMDb page all of a sudden, just because if they're going to list podcast on IMDb. But anyway, that's just me being me. Okay, the Scarefest Horror Film Festival is now taking entries. Go to scarefestweekend.com. If you are an independent filmmaker, read over the rules and regulations, deadlines, and all that. Cough up entirely too little money. I still think we're too cheap. And get in the Scarefest Horror Film Festival. The deadline for it, somebody asked me this about once a week, is, I believe, August 31st. That gives us 1 month to complete the judging and 1 month to actually get everything laid out. But Scarefest Horror Film Festival. The Central Kentucky Mystical Market coming up February 11th and 12th. I will not be doing readings there this time. But February 11th and 12th at the Clarion Hotel, 1950 Newtown Pike. Look them up on Facebook, Central Kentucky Mystical Market, or just go to centralkymysticalmarket.com to find out more. And in closing, I will add, speaker applications are now open. You can also go to Scarefest Weekend for that, scarefestweekend.com, if you would like. And we've been getting quite a few speaker applications, and some of them look pretty interesting. So, we've got that going on. Amelie. I had to go and listen to someone interview her so that I knew how to say her name, because I've never seen that name before.
I would have said Amelia.
Yeah.
That's where I was leaning. I said, okay, yeah, there's something off about that. Okay. Now, get back to the chat room here. Hope we can get a costume photo op. Oh yeah, there'll be photo. We become the photo op capital of America, everybody. That the celebrities are making more photo ops now than they are autographs. So yeah, photo ops will be great. We have like another record to break, so we got to really put the old nose to the grindstone. That's what they used to say. And once again, okay, I'm gonna repeat this for someone in the chat room. 8 months away. 8 months away. We have announced 6 people. We have 60 roughly coming. 660. And the person that was announced was Amelie McClain. Amelie McClain from Terrifier 2. Played the little pale girl. Whatever that means. I don't know. So there. I have caught everybody up in the chat room. We're back with Bev now. She can start answering questions. Don't look like I missed anything, so I'll just wait on them to catch up now. Here, Bev. Here's a non-personal to me. It's a little personal. It's not non-personal. Do you see Scarefest breaking another one of its records this year?
I see Scarefest breaking 3 of its records this year. It's like last year leading up to Scarefest, I could feel that it was going to be a particularly special one. And it was. And this year, I think it's going to go off the charts. I think that if people want passes or thises or that's, they better be getting them, because I think it will go off the charts this year. So, yes, there are going to be records broken.
Yeah, now I'm not dropping names anybody, so don't think that you're learning anything from this. But when we were discussing who we're zooming in on our wish list headliners, if we get our second choice, we were figuring it would probably be 50% bigger than last year. But if we actually got who we wanted, if we gotten the one name that we really wanted, we think we could have doubled last year's numbers, which that would get me a trip to Hawaii. Brandon said if we hit 30,000 people, he's taking all of us managers to Hawaii. So everybody, there's your thing. Help us get that 30,000 ticket mark so that I can go to Hawaii, because I'll never go otherwise. I know me. So anyway, back now the chat room. If you have any more questions for Bev, here we go. Melissa Crawford Murphy also wants to know, will my husband's workplace go on strike this year? And if so, how long?
It feels like it will, but it feels like it'll only be like 4 or 5 days, like it'll be resolved quickly. But not necessarily the best thing to happen. But yes, it feels like it will. And it feels like it will only last a brief time, that the strike will, that things resolved or compromised.
Now, I'm going to say, everybody, something you've never seen me do on the show: drink water. This is, it's a new me. New year, new me. And that's something, Bev, while we're kind of getting caught up here, you said that a lot of your readings are, the universe wants people to drink water.
Every single reading I've given, and January has been insane because I was stupid enough to open it up to 15-minute mini New Year's readings. So I've been, if I had any hair, I'd be pulling it out. But They tell everybody water, 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 more water, more water. Part of that is the brain dehydration thing they've told me about. There's something we're doing that's causing more dehydration. I don't know if it's the food we're eating. I don't know what it is. The other thing is that they're trying really hard to lift people's vibration up. Our bodies are what, 80, 90% water, a big percentage water. And they tell me that it's a lot easier to lift the vibration of water than it is to lift the vibration of the dense body. So the more percentage of water that's in the body, the easier they can lift us up energetically. They're trying to get us to a higher spiritual place.
Mariah Caslin in the chat on the YouTube chat. Yes, I can see your chat. So if you have a question, we will be able to see you. Yeah, Melissa says thank you. They're going to try to plan ahead for that. And Eric Morrison thinks I was taken over by a pod person. I could go into great detail, everybody, but I did. Now, anybody
you don't want him to.
Yeah, because it is hard to be delicate about my what I had going on this week. But I will just go back, refer everyone to the New Year's episode, which incidentally is uploaded and is available on scarefestradio.com because I caught the archives up just this weekend. But I said I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not getting healthy, people. But I am going to do a few things that are a little bit healthier in my life. I'm getting old. The check engine light has come on, you might say. So I probably should have, somebody look at it. Okay, Mariah Caslin from YouTube. Career-wise, what should she look for in store for her this year? Mariah Caslin wants to know, career-wise, what is in store for her this year?
So this is where I'm going to talk about manifestation a little bit. Every word, every thought, every action we take manifests a big piece of our lives. She needs to figure out where she wants to be and what she wants to be doing. When she does that, she will find herself in October doing exactly what she wants to do. But it'll be October and it'll be her. Everybody thinks, the universe is just going to give me a new job. No, you have to tell the universe what you want in that new job. You have to tell them that you want a new job. And thoughts do that too. It's not like you have to sit around and say, hey guys, I need a new job. But you do have to have those things on your mind. And you do have to, if you want a new job, go look at what's open and available. The universe will send it to you. But she's going to have a new career in October that she's really going to be happy with.
I would also want to add, now this is something from my own personal experience, and it might be a matter of vibration. The law of attraction and manifesting and stuff, I have found that when you're in a positive mindset, that it works much better. Now that could just be my imagination, could be coincidence, but when I was doing a meditation to improve my mindset, I felt like everything else that I was wanting to attract to me fell into place much easier than when I'm just pissed off and tell the universe, I deserve this or I want this. Try it every which direction.
Would you like for me to tell you the secret of manifestation?
Sure.
So gratitude is one of the most understood words by the universe. The universe doesn't necessarily understand English or French or German. They understand emotions. Gratitude is the second strongest emotion they understand. So when somebody says thank you before they ask for something, the universe hears it quicker. Then you tell them what you want as though you already have it. Mm-hmm. The reason for that is it helps them understand what you want, because when you say it like you already have it, it evokes an emotion that they can pick up on. The universe is all about emotions and vibrations and all that stuff. It's not about words. So for instance, for a new job, you would say, thank you for my new and exciting career that pays me more than X amount of dollars that I find in October. And it'll help bring it in a lot faster. Thank you that the weather holds off this weekend so I can get the weed in. And that puts a whole spin on what the universe understands that you want. Also, the feeling of gratitude puts you into your own vortex, your own healthy energetic
Mm-hmm.
space, because it you.
And that
So
is actually what I based
that's
my
it.
positive meditation on. So I did it right. I hit the
You
I hit the
absolutely,
target and didn't even know I was aiming at it right. But
you absolutely
that
did.
was the way I went about it. Is every day I found something to be grateful for.
So
And
easy.
I started doing it this year. I actually was doing really good. But and the way I know I do it is I actually keep track of it in the calendar. And I haven't went back to see if it was my imagination or what, but I literally went to do a starter week, and I could not find the week in the calendar. It was like it just wasn't there, and so I said, you know what, that might be a sign from the universe that either this is gonna be a really crap week, or this chill out a minute. So I'm gonna start back in February, which is what, Tuesday, Wednesday, and go back to doing it again. But I did find that just that little exercise of finding something to be thankful for every day
Hmm.
improved my mental status greatly, and it seemed like other things fell into place.
It
So that
does. It just centers your energy. And when your energy is centered, it kind of turns you into this little energetic megaphone vortex that just soaks in what's out there for you.
okay. While we're waiting on the chat room now to throw us some more questions, very personal question: should I go back to using Just for Men? Now,
No,
are you letting? Is the
No.
universe saying that, or is that just you liking old gray-haired men?
what the universe says, whatever makes you feel good is the thing to do if it doesn't harm anyone else. That's what the universe says. I say, nah.
It funny story. It makes me feel good. Okay, Just for Men should be named Just Forever, because when you use it, it looks. I think it looks fine. It looks good.
Mhm.
Shaves 10, 15 years off your face. But a man's beard grows very robustly. Mine does. And so that means the gray starts popping around the edges very, very quickly. And then you get these stripes and skunk stripes and everything. And so at
No,
some point I just decided I don't need to look young. I just don't want the
look,
extra maintenance.
you see this gray hair? There's a reason. It was just too much work to be blonde.
Meredith wants to know if she will ever actually make money with her art.
Yes, she actually will. But there's going to be some new things added to it. There's going to be some glass work involved, some stained glass or glass painted to look like it's stained. There's going to be some more elements, but yes, she will.
So there.
She just needs to let her creative self guide her. And honestly, she has this kind of ability to connect with the universe where if she got out of her own way, the universe would do a lot of her artwork for her.
There you go. Meredith, get out of your own way. See, now someone in the chat room said they've been gray for over 20 years. I've been gray to some degree. But
Tracy has been gray for 20
Oh,
years.
Tracy. It don't show me here.
I know. That's why you're having to look over here.
Okay.
Bethany wants to know, she's the ghost question.
Right?
But Bethany wants to know what's the next step you see for my ghost business. I, on the other hand, want to know what's a ghost business. But that's...
I understand. But Bethany's ghost business is going to take off. Bethany's ghost business is going to do good things and is going to make a profit doing it. It's going to take creativity. It's going to take moving some still energy out. It's going to take bringing some fresh energy in. It's going to take, of course, time is something that she doesn't have a lot of, and she's going to have to prioritize some things to give it the time that it needs. But it's definitely going to become more of a business, yes. And I think part of it too will be equipment sales, teaching. There's a lot to show there. There's a lot to show off there.
Okay, I'm gonna knock out some of these real quick.
Okay.
If I had a dime every time I got in my own way, that is a weird fucking way to make money.
That's
Somebody
Meredith.
else said
That
their
was
hair.
Meredith.
Okay, somebody said their hair started going gray when they were 17.
Joe?
In my case, my parents' hair started going gray when I turned 17. So we're gonna hit the Bonehead Weekly movie review now. When we come back, we'll get a few more questions in before the top of the hour. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Scarefest fans. This is Joe Lewis with 2021's Blood Red Sky review. Now, I never bothered to watch this, and it's a German movie. It's a German movie with some American, or actually with some American, Australian, Scottish actors in it, but it's mainly in German, and they overdubbed some of the German into English. And like I said, it's on Netflix. But Blood Red Sky was, in the first 4 weeks it was on Netflix in 2021, 50 million people watched it. And I wanted to watch it, but just never got around to it. And I found that I had some time, and I finally did, and I liked it a lot. Blood Red Sky is told in flashbacks. You go, here's what's happening, then go back to a flashback to explain something. Then here's what's happening, go back to a flashback. So basically, a woman, a mother, and her child or boy. The mother's sick. We don't really know what it is at the beginning. And they are going to America to get some sort of special treatment. Don't know what it is. They're going to a clinic. And on their way, on the plane is hijacked by people who are terrorists or whatnot. And they have they're trying to get the plane to go someplace so they can get some money. It's kind of a diehard kind of thing, like, they don't really care about the people. And then we start to find out about the mom. What is she sick with? What has she got? Well, it turns out, and this movie's been around for a couple of years, so I'm going to talk about it just a little bit and give away some of it, because I don't think it'll diminish the movie to you. It turns out that she's a vampire, and she got this when her son was just a little baby, and her husband were out, and the car got stopped somewhere, and they were attacked. And she's been living with it, taking treatments, and trying to kind of control it for many, many years now. And it's the worst case scenario because they're on a plane, she's a vampire, and they're fighting. It's bloody. The vampires are very reminiscent of like Nosferatu or 30 Days a Night, or maybe the vampires that Guillermo used in Blade 2. Kind of the bald heads and the pointy ears and things. That's what they kind of look like. And everything goes terribly, terribly wrong. Some of the cast that you may know beforehand are Dominic Purcell, who was, I think, known for Prison Break. One of my favorite character actors. He's a Scottish actor called Graham McTavish. Look him up. You would know him. He's on House of the Dragon. Alexander Skier, who is another just a terrible person, actor. You know how there's certain people who just are great at playing awful people. If you look him up, you'll know exactly who he is. Anyway, so you totally should check out Blood Red Sky because it has been on Netflix for a couple of years, and I hadn't bothered to watch it, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's got a lot of blood, it's got vampires, and it's got twists and turns as we go through it. So this has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly, Blood Red Sky.
Okay, try to catch up here. Mariah wants to know, any chance my Uncle Bill is here and he has a message? He passed away last year, but she wants to know if her Uncle Bill is with her and does he have a message that he wants conveyed?
Not at this very minute. Uncle Bill's not. Uncle Bill tends to, and a lot of them do this, they tend to ride in the car with you. They tend to find you alone in the car when your mind's kind of neutral, and they like coming in then. Uncle Bill tends to come in at breakfast on Sundays. That's like a big time for Uncle Bill for some reason. I don't know why. Uncle Bill, let me see if I can phrase these words where they make sense. Uncle Bill says that the time for trepidation is over. It is time to step out. It is time to take the chance. So go do it. That's Uncle Bill's message, along with a yellow rose, which is an affection sign. And Uncle Bill will come anytime she calls on him if he's not busy.
Okay. Lori wants to know, will I retire in the near future? And by near future, she means within 3 years. Lori wants to know if she will retire within 3 years. That's all that.
I'm feeling 4.1 years right now. I hate to say that. But so right now I'm feeling 4.1 years, but I do think there'll be some opportunities to come along the way that if she takes them like at about the 2.8 year mark, will propel her to be able to retire at the 3 year mark.
Okay.
So it seems like an opportunity is going to come along to take.
And it, also, Lori, is my foster a permanent resident?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that was, well, darn it. I was hoping you'd elaborate on that so we could stretch this out to the end of the hour. Anyway. Oh, and I will tell you, Eric Morrison, I have smoked on camera tonight. You just weren't paying attention. Joe Howard wants to know, will he ever sell any of his writing?
So, for lack of a better way to say this, Joe's pissed on his writing a little bit. It's like he puts so much of himself into it that it kind of locks it up from other things. He needs to get in a mindset to let it go other places. He's afraid of being judged by people who read it. So the answer to that is yes, but he needs to back off and understand that the words have come out of him, but they're no longer his words. And then he can release them, let them go. And yes, definitely going to do well with it in about, if they do all that, about 2.4 years.
See, now that's a hard type question for me, because that's one of those that falls into the
free will.
Well, yeah, the free will. You know, am I ever going to sell my writing? Are you going to put it up for sale?
Exactly.
You know,
there's more to it than just you have to take action.
But
you
yes,
know, am I going to get another job? Well, not if you don't look for a new job.
Right. Well, I sell my writing. No, people are just going to throw money at you. So yeah, so there we go. Okay, Melissa wants to know, do either of her parents or any other past loved ones have a message for her?
This is a masculine energy. I think is probably father. Could be grandfather, but I feel like it's father. Saying that she's going to have a real decision to make in April and not to be afraid, because they're going to be with her when she makes it. It's not a bad thing, so don't get in fear about it or anything. But in April, when this decision has to be made, just know that you will make the right decision, because they're going to all be with you helping you make it. Now, I know that doesn't make any sense to her now unless she knows what's coming in April. But the message is, don't worry, we got your back.
Okay. Eric wants to know, his Uncle Jesse passed away, and his father went down a dark road that he has dug himself out of. Was Uncle Jesse helping out? Was he looking out over his dad?
And still is.
And still is. Okay.
And still is.
And do you have a name on that one? I think it would be easier.
Hang on just a second. Let me.
There, right there.
Okay, it's
Tracy.
Tracy.
It's Tracy. Okay.
It's Tracy.
From Tracy. Will the boat... Now, this is for a friend of Tracy's. So she didn't give me a name, but this is through Tracy. Her friend is... Will the boat she's helping to be saved indeed be saved?
Yes.
Yes. See how simple that was? It was harder for me than Bev, obviously. But okay. Oh, now okay. Everybody. We got to jump over. We got to get some plugs in for her. Bev will be doing a gallery at Akashic Awareness in Elizabethtown, February 18th at 3:30. I would say, well, look them up on Facebook. But yeah, they are wanting reservations for that, I believe, because I don't think
we only have so many seats there. It's only $10. It's a $10 donation to the Good Fairy Dust Fund, which is a nonprofit But they have limited seating, so you do have to contact the store to book it.
Okay. And that you can Google them, Akashic Awareness. I think it's AkashicAwareness.com. I should have that memorized.
It is.
But,
it is.
Yeah, AkashicAwareness.com, or just look them up on Facebook. But very easy to get a hold of. But if you want to go on February 18th, to one of Bev's galleries, make a reservation. And hi, Danielle. Somebody in the camera actually said hi to me. Now, the Full Moon Sisters Bazaar. This is new. Coming up April 29th and 30th. Tell everybody what's going to be going on at the Full Moon Bazaar. Full Moon Sisters Bazaar. And that's on 326 Southland Drive in Lexington.
Which is, by the way, the Shriners building, the one with the temple and the towers. It's a really awesome building that we feel very fortunate we've been able to get for this event. So mamarubies.com does all kinds of events, and because of COVID, we haven't been. So this we're getting back in the cycle, and we're switching them up a little. They're not purely metaphysical. They're more like shopping and entertainment experiences. 90% metaphysical, 10% entertainment. So we're not sure what all people are going to find there, but they're going to find about 60 or 70 vendors, artists, readers, healing people. They're going to find some entertainment. They're going to find some, there may be a 16-foot boa constrictor there. You never know.
There's the deets on that.
It's going to be very inexpensive to get into. We haven't set that price yet, but it's going to be very inexpensive. It's going to be a lot of fun, very casual. We encourage people to just come have fun. There'll be a lot going on. There'll be a gallery there, a free gallery. There may be several galleries with several channels. So there's just going to be a lot of stuff going on. It's 8,000 or 9,000 square feet. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on.
And that's April 29th through 30th, everybody. The Shriners Building on 326 Southland Drive in Lexington. Okay, Michael Fulkerson, watch how you say that if you want to get money on YouTube. Will Really Bad Santa make a comeback this year? First of all, that implies that he
went away.
That he went away.
He's not gone anywhere.
I just didn't have time. I had new cosplay, which went over very, very well, I will add, at Scarefest. And I decided Really Bad Santa could take a little time off. But I really would love to like book him at malls and just sit back in the corner with a big old bottle of whiskey and just see if anybody actually but anyway, he might. The answer is Michael, he might make a comeback if the opportunity presents itself, because it's like damned easy cosplay to do if I go anywhere that time of year. Got a few we can throw in real quick, at least one here. Barbara wants to know how her love life is going to be in 2023. Barbara wants to know.
So the love life, there's going to be a few things here and there, but they're not really meaningful things. The meaningful one's not coming until 2024.
So Bev says sleep around this year. 2024 is your year.
I don't think that's what Bev said.
Again, free will.
Okay, yeah, it's free will. There you go. Everybody, we're at the 10 o'clock. We're at the top of the hour. We did it. We made it all the way through the show. And you all, you did great in the chat room. You kept a good, steady flow. Bev, thank you once again. Yes, and I will keep you on my short list of fill-in guests because, honestly, okay, everybody, I'll tell you, the reason Bev is on tonight is because Wesley miscounted Fridays in January. I thought I was doing so good. I had February booked out all the way. And then I looked at my calendar and said, oh, wait, there's another Friday in January. So, but Bev stepped up to the plate, hit a home run. And then somebody says, speaking of Santa, my worst fear is getting trapped in a room with Santa. They're claustrophobic. Okay, everybody.
That was
Can I say one thing real
Yeah,
Sure,
fast?
of course.
absolutely.
We need to do one of these sometime about ghost and horror and hauntings as those subjects only instead of just general. And it might be fun to see what non-personal questions we get about all that stuff.
Absolutely.
There you go. We will work on that before you heard it here first, everybody. And because I don't, for one thing, me and Bev don't always agree on that stuff. We're not
No.
too far off. We're not too far.
No,
off.
we're not. We're not.
But yeah,
It's all perspective.
I tend to simplify things just down to, and I don't like people. So
Actually, we're not far off at all.
no, but I don't like people that much. So why should I? After they're dead, why should I like them more? So that's kind of where I fall into the whole category. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. This has been Scarefest TV.